bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Today is the United Nations International Day of Forests, which promotes the importance of forests and trees in our lives. The day addresses issues such as deforestation, for high school students at the Sir Charles Hayward Library. Megan Shepard has that story.
Environmental Project Manager at Barco Buckeye Bahamas, Letitia Parker, addressing high school students at a forestry awareness seminar. She shared with the group the importance of preserving local plants as well as their importance historically and presently.
For such a tiny country that we are, we have a number of plants and animals, especially birds, that thrive in our ecosystem. And we have to be careful that in our efforts to develop, we have a good balance between development and conservation so that we can move forward and do the same thing that we're doing now and continue to do it in 5 years, 20 years, 50 years. And the best way to do that is through education.
Parker also explained how some of the indigenous plants can be used and preserved.
We've got the Caribbean pine, which is the tall, straight, narrow pine trees that you see all over Freeport. That's actually a northern Bahamas pine. Historically, it was used as pit props in mines in Europe. Wallace Groves used to use them in his mill back in the early 20th century. And they have huge significance here because they are fire resistant. When we have the fire season that comes through, they are left behind, they can recover, and any plants that shouldn't be here, what we call exotic plants, are they're burnt out. There's also the thatch palm, which we see every day in our really popular straw markets.
Grand Bahama District Fire Chief ASP Ernest Hanna explaining the connection between community and the forest. He notes that this is the bushfire season and shares how the students can do their part to be vigilant and help in preventing forest fires.
They are contributors to fire, humans being one of the most prolific contributors to fires. And most of it is unintentional. What you do with cigarette butts, the do's and don'ts. And even you have some spontaneous combustion. It comes from the way we discard certain chemicals or certain glass or other metal material that can cause fires also. So some of the things we can do around the home, the way we discard of our garbage, lighting them rather than having them go to a landfill and things like that. Kids just playing with fires.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
In other news, a local ophthalmologist giving back to the community, using her gifts to give patients the gift of sight. Kimberly Mullings has more.
Ash Eye Institute Grand Bahama partnering with his Gift of Sight Socially Conscious Clinic for the second time, making cataract surgeries possible for a number of Bahamians at a minimal cost. Dr. Duranda Ash says it was rewarding to assist those in need.
We've had almost 30 eyes, and so we have almost 30 successful surgeries and happy patients. You know, there were a number of people who could hardly see, hand motion only, and now through God's grace and mercy we were successful in giving them the gift of sight.
She's grateful for the opportunity to be of service to the patients in need and hopes others continue to come forward.
Cataracts is also one of the leading causes of blindness here in the Bahamas, but it is curable in most instances with cataract surgery. But glaucoma is a leading cause of preventable blindness. Diabetes is another leading cause of preventable blindness, and there are many diabetics here in the Bahamas. So having a complete eye exam by an ophthalmologist is so important, and that's how it all starts.
The response, she adds, has been overwhelming.
You know, I'm saying to the Bahamas, you know, to Turks and Caicos, come in, have your eyes checked. You know, there's no need for anyone in the Bahamas or in Turks and Caicos to be blind because of a cataract.
Dr. Ash partnered with Dr. Jeff Rutgard of the Hawaiian Eye Foundation, who specializes in international programs for humanitarian purposes. He too is pleased to be a part of the program and looks forward to the third session.
The patients felt loved and cared for, because that is what we're all about. It's about taking care of individuals and loving them, sharing with them, helping them, holding their hands, and giving them a chance to see.
The third Gift of Sight Socially Conscious Clinic will take place this July. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
And now it is time to ask the doctor.
Hi and welcome. High school student and future physician Timothy asks, can you please talk about the long-term effects of head and brain injuries? Timothy, thank you for raising an important subject, and while I know that you asked me to address a specific type of brain injury, it might be more helpful to all of our viewers if they understand a little more about closed head injuries first. A closed head injury is an injury to the head that does not penetrate the skull. They're usually caused by blows to the head and frequently occur in traffic accidents, falls, and assaults. There are a variety of associated risks, such as increased pressure and swelling of the brain, which can permanently destroy delicate brain tissue and nerve cells and may lead to permanent brain damage. The extent of brain damage depends on the severity of the injury. Closed head injuries can range from mild skull injuries to more severe traumatic brain injuries, which can lead to severe brain damage or even death. Such trauma or injury to the brain or head can be minimized or prevented with the use of helmets and protective gear when participating in sports or biking, and children can be further protected with proper use of child seats, booster seats, and seat belts while riding in a car. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. Ricardo Liborn has a check on sports when we return.